Morning, it's Kelly Snow. Say, I wanted to spend some time this morning with the beginners because I know that this is tough, okay? So, here's what I got. I have a deconstructed book and I have signatures, okay? So here's what I do. There's a lot of confusion, I know, in the beginning is what to do, how to do it, and the differences between and what is going to happen when you sit down to do this. And so what happens to me is, now this is just me, everybody is different, obviously. I like a paper. Something inspires me about the paper, maybe. In this case, this is what happened. And I liked this old paper. The design paper, okay? But they make it so nice now that you don't have to do anything to it, and it kind of takes the creativeness out of it because you don't really have to do anything. It's already there. So what I did with these is I just sewed them together and made tall pockets out of them, and I'm going to make a 3-ring binder out of this one. And here's my pages. So anyway, okay, so the difference is the deconstructed book. I did what Crafty Irina says. You start in the back. In case you didn't watch your video, you start in the back and you take a couple of pages and see if they're connected, figure it out there. And then I did 3, and then I tore out 8. And then I do 3 more pages, just like she says, and then I rip out 8. Sometimes I do 5 or 6, just depending on, what's happening and where I'm at, and if I like something on the page, I might, keep it or whatever. Okay, so these deconstructed books, my first one I did was that Under the Sea, if you're watching my channel at all. And so anyway, these books basically is first of all, you got to cover up all the words, gesso or whatever it is you're going to use. Some of them, you can have peek through however you want to do it. But basically what I'm doing in a deconstructed book is I just go through and I just cover all my pages. This one I'm going to do a pocket, And so I'm just cutting down design paper or journaling spots and putting them in. That's the first thing I do. It's gesso up here. And so, see all this, I'm going to do a top here. So all I've done so far is put in the paper and the design paper that I'm going to use. But because I've done it this way, with all this design paper, I don't normally do it this. If you're watching my channel, I don't normally make journals like this, but I really liked the size of this book. And I liked the color, and I only had so much of this paper, and I really liked it. And it's all just about fun. Here's the cover. Is going to be just all about fun. Going out to eat, going to the movies, having popcorn, candy, and, just nostalgic type of things. In your travels, I put a little spot for traveling in here. It's just an all-around book just for fun. I'm going to do a lot of cool things in here. But the first thing I do is get inspired by the paper. Okay, so then the paper leads me to the embellishments. So I know I'm going to have a page about the movies, so I dig out, I have 3D glasses. I made some tracing paper popcorn tags, because it's, I'm going to do the movies. I got these at the dollar store. They look like little popcorn bags. Bingo cards I'm going to use. I'm going to use playing cards, which I've gessoed some. I'm going to use Yahtzee boards. And I found an old popcorn cardboard, So, I get inspired by the paper. Then I look for little items like these. Then I might dig through my fabrics and see maybe what might go and what doesn't go. The thing about the books is, unless you can take out this page and go like this and try to stick it into your sewing machine, I mean, you can't really sew on here. So, you either have to do your sewing first and then glue it on, or, sew on your tags if that's how you want to do it. So, here's the deal. Here's what I want to talk to you about, though. Now that I've done this, this is all about creating something. Sometimes I want something that's really easy to look at, like that last garden journal I did, that relax here. It's real easy to look at. And then sometimes you want something that's more exciting, you know? But what I wanted to say is, when I was first doing mine, I got a little overwhelmed and I was trying to do everything. I was making a head, all these pockets and all these tucks and all this stuff. In fact, I still have it sitting over here. All these that I made in those tutorials. And they're sitting here, in here, because what happens is I'm not making journals that it fits in. You know, I mean, all these are cute and everything, but unless I have a specific journal to put these in, these ones that I made in the tutorials, you know, it doesn't work. So I have all this stuff sitting here. I mean, yeah, it's all cute and everything. And I made these envelopes. Remember these? These are really cute, but like I said, I haven't used them. They're just sitting here. So here's what I do. I wait. And I get it all put together. And I figure out what's going to go where and how I'm going to do it. And then I do all the text and embellishing because I have no idea what I'm going to do. I just turn the page and I got a blank canvas here and I'm going to, you know, figure out what I'm going to do. So with doing the book, this way, with just covering up everything, it's kind of a fast, instant gratification type of a deal where a beginner would like see some results right away. So it's kind of fun and easy kind of to do it this way. And so now I'm just going to go back and work on our list. If you've been watching the channel, you know, color, pattern, texture, shine, interaction, sound, and all that. So that's what I have to incorporate into all these pages, is some form of, you know, something, pockets and, you know, things. So now that I have the paper picked out, and now that I know I need to make some kind of interaction and something to happen with these pages, I wanted to talk about doubling up on all the patterns and all the laces and all the stuff. And it's like pretty soon, I mean, I can't put everything on here. It would look crazy. I mean, they're cool like that. I've seen people do that. They just stack everything on there. And yes, there's time and place for it. But in, you know, the way I do it, I know now that this is background. And if I make embellishments for it, it needs to either enhance the background or it needs to, I have to figure out what I want to show, what I want to shine. So if I want the page to shine, then you make some kind of muted pocket or something that isn't going to take away from the design of the page. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't put, you know, something crazy on here if I wanted the paper to shine. So that's what happens when you see those girls doing those design team projects. You know, they're really focusing on the paper because, you know, that's what the design teams do. They're trying to sell their paper. So, you know, and they're all so cute the way they have them all put together, you know, but it just depends on how you want to do it. So this one, I'm going to attempt to make a gumball machine with a couple of pages put together, and I'm going to have clear right here, and I'm going to cut a hole. This definitely has to be bigger so I can fit something in there. But I've seen those ladies do those pocket tucks, you know, that just have a hole in the page right here, and you can tuck something in there. So I know that this can be done, so that's going to be neat. But, you know, you have to plan out the way it's going to go. And so with signatures now, you just have paper. Like, this is it. I got a blank page, and what the heck am I going to do with that? You know, so that's why I did that video on the layering process, okay? But for something like this, the stuff that I'm doing right now, that layering process and the spraying and, you know, all that stuff, it doesn't really go with this. Like, I mean, I could spray back here, I guess, but it wouldn't really accent or anything this paper. So you kind of got to watch out, because when I started my mom's journal, I had so many different ideas. she wanted the daisies, and she liked, the coffee and toast, and then I was doing the newspaper, and then pretty soon I'm looking at this journal and I had it all, just everything in there. It was just a mishmash. So you got to try to kind of stay focused on, your theme, if there is one, you know what I mean? And you kind of just got to stay focused on there, or it kind of goes everywhere. At least it does for me, because I have so many ideas. So what I've done in this one is, like I said before, I just sewed the design paper into pockets, and then I'm going to add, my sheets. So I'm probably going to do, I don't know, I don't usually do a number, but I don't know, if I do a couple of pages in between each design paper, I think that will be a good balance. So then you're left here with this paper, and you have to sit here and try to figure out what to do. It's a blank canvas, right? So signatures are completely different than the Deconstructed book. I feel like the signatures force me to be more creative, because essentially it's the same as the book page, I guess, but I don't know. It just leaves more openness, because now I can sew on here and I can do different things that I can't do in a Deconstructed book. So, anyway, so, I guess that's it.